Hello everyone and welcome to the Off the Record podcast. I'm Taylor.
And I am Dan.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I've made a conscious decision. We're not going to talk about the orange wotsit man today. We've spoken about him far too much in the last few weeks.
We have.
I have found other stories that don't relate to him or anything about what he's done.
Nice.
It's about time.
Bye-bye, Trump.
You would be amazed, though, looking through the news sites of the world, how much he dominates the news at the minute. All things he's done or caused or people hating him and all this sort of shit. It's insane. It's everywhere.
Mad.
I guess that's what happens when you crash the global economy.
When you run the most powerful country in the world.
Yeah. Anyway, first of all,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm all good, thanks, Tay.
Good.
Been very, very busy.
Yes.
Which is good. Busy is definitely good, especially when you're in a business. The kind of clues in the title, innit, really? Been some exciting things happening. Been some very stressful things happening. Been a lot of marketing-related conversations. And turns out I fucking hate marketing. So there we go. The joys.
It's a good job I don't.
Yeah, thank God for that. Thank God for that. Otherwise you'd be up some sort of creek. Not many paddles.
No. Sans paddle.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, stressed.
Well, yeah.
I am the definition of that cartoon dog with the room on fire saying it's fine.
No.
Or my screensaver.
Oh, right, yeah.
That, it's similar sort of thing, but more aggressive. Yeah, it's all been stress. All stress, just 2 weeks. I'm surprised I haven't gone grey.
Yeah.
I have aged again another 10 years. So I now look 48.
I'll go 46.
Okay.
It's nice. Yeah.
Should we get to the news?
I think we probably should say.
Yes, indeed.
That's what these people want.
Right. Again,
Boom.
we're not talking about economies and shit today. We're talking about other stuff. Someone's calling me. Go away, I'm busy. Skin cancer detection firm lands £15 million to fund growth plans.
Okay.
The reason you're going to like this is the next sentence. An AI company
Oh, God.
whose technology is being rolled out across NHS trusts in the fight against skin cancer has landed a capital injection from one of the world's most prominent financiers.
Okay.
A British health technology company, which uses AI to conduct skin cancer tests within 5 minutes, has landed £15 million in a funding round led by a leading global financier. Financier?
Different pronunciations, you're all good.
Indeed. Sky News has learned that Skin Analytics, whose Derm device has been shown to diagnose the disease with a 99.9% accuracy rate,
Okay.
will this week announce the closing of its Series B funding. And they're based in Chelsea and Westminster Hospital.
Of course they are.
Other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was more to sort of spark a conversation about the progression of AI. Because even since we last spoke about it, it's progressed.
It's what it does. Yeah.
I saw a really interesting side-by-side of... Do you remember that really early AI video from 3-4 years ago of Will Smith eating spaghetti?
No.
Do you not remember this?
What?
I'll see if I can find the video. I'll put it on the screen. But let me see if I can find it quick because it's worth seeing because it's like just a visual representation
Of the advancement.
Will Smith spaghetti comparison. Yeah. Let's turn the sound down. So this was one from 2023.
Oh, I do remember the weird
Remember
face.
this?
Yeah.
And then in a second it'll
Give me the
flip to the 2024 one or 2025 one.
God, it is awful, isn't it? It's still impressive. Wait.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Taylor's clicking videos.
This is not smooth. I apologise.
And here he is in 2024. Wait, that's just AI.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that is actually crazy. Wow. Well, is that okay?
Yeah, so that's a visual. So you imagine how much the sort of non-visual stuff has progressed as well.
Oh, it's insane, mate.
If it's a similar level to that, I'm not surprised they've got a nearly 100% accuracy rate.
It's an interesting story. I mean, the actual, like, the article itself that you've read, I feel like that's just rings alarm bells of that woman that we spoke about, the blood testing woman.
Oh, Theranos, yeah.
Yeah, like that is what I'm immediately like, oh, we got another one of those, have we? That's what my brain goes to straight away, is that she's this company are now, they've seen the success of what lying can do, especially if you baffle most people with information and knowledge that they just don't have. So I think that's how she managed to get into the position that she did, worth billions, is because she was selling science to the ignorant. Me, basically. When I say the ignorant, I'm not saying other people, but so that's my immediate thinking of it. From an AI perspective, in terms of how much it's improved, I mean, that visual is nuts. And I think we've got first-hand experience. I think this company definitely does. Because was it 22 or 23 that I tried to get everyone to start like using it in the company? Was it around then, wasn't it?
Probably.
Everybody hated me. Everyone was like, this is rubbish, Dan. It's pointless using it. It's pointless using it. I'm saying, look, I understand what it's outputting now is not great, but the thing is like a child. It learns. If you keep learning it alongside the growth of it, when it does become 2024 level, you're going to be one of the best people at using it. So I was like trying to drive that angle that, okay, it's shit now, but you've got to go through the learning phase to get to the goodness of it as it improves. And I mean, it is nuts what we're seeing in terms of a difference. Even in the last 6 months, when Gabby started creating AI content of the teddy bears, Jamie went on to Gemini literally last week and asked it to create a picture of the cute teddy bear holding a love heart with stitching on a blanket with a picnic basket. Mate, it looked like a photo. It looked like a 4K photo of our fucking bear on a mat. And he just put in one command. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I could see where it had to go to. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better just by default. It's AI is fascinating. It's potentially the worst thing that we've ever invented in terms of like the progression of us as animals. But it's the best thing because it's utilizing external sources and tools to then advance us as a race of animals. So,
I mean, yeah, my issues with AI haven't changed because I don't think I ever said it's shit. Now I said I don't like it. I think AI stunts creativity because if there becomes a reliance on it, which there is now,
yeah, of course.
In the way that you said it was going to get good, the way I said that people are going to think that AI generated content in terms of visuals is derogatory and bad is also true.
There's a split in there that depending on what you're putting in and what you're getting out. Yeah,
but what I mean is people will go AI generated. Do you know what I mean? Like I know FIFA, the game, EA whatever it's called now, got called out for it because they had an AI'd bit. They'd sort of touched up a photo with AI. And people noticed it, and they got fucking rimmed for it.
How many people noticed that?
Well, I don't know. It ended up in like a news article and stuff like that.
Really?
And yeah, they got ripped for it.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is good. I'm not denying that it's useful. I've implemented it into many aspects of my job now. But yeah, I think that my problem still comes when it becomes a reliance. Yeah. If you use it to inform your already, whether it's creative or whatever, but creative nature in terms of output of work, let's say. Yeah. If you use it to inform what you already are driving towards, it can be very helpful. If you purely rely on it, it then becomes a detriment.
Again, I think it really depends on how like good people get with commands.
100%. But that's what I mean. You have to have the creativity to come up with the command to be specific enough for it to help you.
Yes.
Rather than just go in, make me a business idea.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you build it from the ground up, it's built on sand. But if you have the backing of human interaction and human production of stuff in order to input it and make it more specific, then the output is far better and it can really help. I mean, I used it this morning. on one of our Instagram posts, I think it was, for a
Mhm.
caption. But I didn't use it as it spat it out. I used it as I explained what the post was about, who it was aimed at, I put in everything that I'd already come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It spat something out. I took it as a framework and then changed it.
Yeah.
But the framework is sound.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean, whereas I know a lot of people would just go, make me a Instagram post that has this in it, then we'll get the picture made by AI and then go, and write me a caption.
Yeah, that's
And
not how you use the tool.
That's just not, that's where I struggle with it, because I just think that it's just lazy. And
it needs so much more. But same with anything in life. If anybody set the task to go and create like a banner for a website, you've got to think and plan before you execute. I mean, we've learned this week, literally this week, that without understanding all the parameters behind what you're trying to create, i.e., not just I want a banner, but who is it aimed at? What is the topic of the media or the output? Understanding all of those fundamentals, like that, if you can get those, then you can utilize the tools better, I guess. But yeah, just I guess I was more saying from a perspective of at a kind of a small business level, that those AI tools, it's a shame that we're reliant on them, but you're almost mad to not use them. Not you, anybody in today's day and age, because it will save you so much time. I had to deal with an NDA for a sex toy company in China the other day. Genuinely, I had to read through this NDA. I'm not a lawyer. Why am I going to assume that I know the answer? I'm not, and I don't. So I read through it by eye, went, okay, I kind of get it. Here's where I think what the weak points are. Then I ran it through an AI software and said, could you please highlight all of the areas in this NDA agreement between two limited entities and tell me where the weaknesses are, or the touch points that I should be most mindful of as the owner of entity X, right? Mate, fuck me. It made my life so easy. It churned out all the points, made complete sense. I then asked it to then create that as a response as an email. I reckon it genuinely saved me. Well, number one, 500 quid from a solicitor, because that's where that would have gone. Straight to a solicitor. Can you please check through this NDA agreement, tell me it's good?
I have to interject here because of YouTube's terms of service. We are not saying that is a substitution for legal advice. Carry on.
Obviously. But in certain circumstances, and again, it's context-based, like everything, it's a non-disclosure agreement. It's not a distribution agreement or like a manufacturing contract. It's just literally a non-disclosure. So I'm using it in a very specific way at specific times. Well said, Tay. Don't just all of a sudden sack your lawyer because AI now is here.
Yeah.
Like, who's that guy that was on Rogan's podcast? American Asian chap, and he did the drawing in Facebook.
He has the face paint on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I know who you mean.
Because he used AI like 2 years ago when he was on Rogan's podcast, and he deliberately tested it. He called a lawyer, asked for their advice, then checked AI, checked the disparities, same information was given. And his answer was, I just sacked my lawyer on the spot. Now, I think that's a little bit hasty. That's one example, and you don't know what legal problems you're going to have. So, again, context. But
Yeah. But
it's cool.
Carry on.
That's it.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, and I think if this isn't bollocks, I mean, it's being rolled out in the NHS trusts, it said, so there's some level of testing required in order to get to that point.
Well, there's some level of backhanders. You must have a relationship with the Member of Parliament that signs off these agreements, because then they're going to get 50 grand, maybe £1 million out the back of it. That's probably what's happened, without being too
Allegedly.
much. Yes, fuck the allegedly.
But yeah, I think if that's the way it's going, and that's then fine. I'm fine with it. If it's going to help, to that level, and in the medical field and stuff like that. My only sticking point is where it has the potential to, in people's eyes who don't really respect creative arts, it has the ability to suck the life out of them, really. And someone who is involved in creative arts in multiple forms, I really dislike how some people view it and think that it's a substitute for genuine talented people and things like that. I'm not including myself in that, but with all the the AI music and all the AI stuff like that, it's just I don't like that aspect of it. But
it's the perfect tool for non-creatives. really. For those that don't have the skill set to produce either music, art, or words in a suitable way, these tools are going to elevate them in a career-based position, because now they can at least contribute to that field of work. Granted, they're not doing it, the tool is, but they've got access to it. So
yeah, but I think what I've also we will come to an end on this point in a minute. But what I've found as well is, because I suck at copy, I just suck at writing. Basically, I always have. I found that when I've been putting things in to try and help me, whether it be flesh out or condense or things like that, I'm sort of noticing what it's doing, and now subconsciously doing it myself. Like when with the caption this morning, I wrote out basically what it spat out in more words, and then when I saw that it had condensed it, I sort of thought, well, I'm on the right track then. Do you know what I mean? If that's what it's spitting out, then yeah. Anyway,
interesting. I'm intrigued to see what happens with that.
Yeah,
that AI software for the cancer.
Yeah, I think it's a potentially very good thing.
Yeah, hopefully it helps some people.
Time to put your tinfoil hats on, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
Strongest evidence of life yet found on planet beyond the solar system.
Oh, here we go.
Using the James Webb Space Telescope, scientists say they have found indications of potential life on K2-18b.
Got that lovely planet.
A planet outside of our solar system. Scientists have found what they are calling the strongest sign yet of possible life after detecting a chemical footprint of gases in an alien planet's atmosphere that on Earth are produced only by living organisms.
Oh.
Using the James Webb Telescope, scientists found traces of two gases, dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide, on a planet named K2-18b. On Earth, those gases are generated primarily by living organisms, including algae, suggesting that K2-18b could be teeming with microbial life. Mm-hmm. Researchers have stressed that the findings are not an announcement of discovery of actual living organisms, but rather an indicator of the biological process.
Of course.
Oh, there we go. K2-18b is located 124 light years from Earth in the constellation Leo, and is about 8.6 times as massive as Earth, and has a diameter about 2.6 times as large.
Wow.
That is a big planet.
Still nowhere near the size of Jupiter.
No, but it's if it's got life on it, it's hefty.
That's a hefty planet.
Yeah, I mean, basically, do you think there's life out there?
Yes.
You do?
Well, I know we know there is. We don't know if there's intelligent life, but we already know, we've known for the last, 30 odd years, that there's indefinitely has been life within our, technically they actually believe it's within our solar system. There's a moon that goes around Saturn that technically is the most likely planetary body that we could then go habit. That's not the right word.
Is it Europa? The one that's covered in water, isn't it?
Correct. Now, with water, and literally by definition will come a form of life, kind of impossible not to, because obviously the conditions are there suitably to have running water. Otherwise it would boil, or it wouldn't be water, it would freeze. So the fact that it can be running water, or was at one stage... Well,
it is frozen, isn't it?
Now.
Across the top. Yeah. And I think that it's something like... It's hundreds of metres thick, isn't it, this ice?
Probably thicker than that, probably miles. Probably.
Yeah. And then there's a bit of water underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in our solar system, that's the most likely...
Yes, planetary body for sure.
Most likely. But you would think that they might have noticed, if they're noticing something on a planet 124 light years away, they might have been able to see one that's less than one away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so... Yeah. Yes, is the answer, yes.
Yeah, it's... No, I'm not trying to shit on anything.
No, it could be made habitable, basically. It's the same sort of thing as the whole Mars and Musk. You can make it livable, but it's just a fucking nightmare to do it.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time because we don't have enough technology. But I am fascinated by space. I love it. I absolutely love hearing about things that seem to make no sense.
Yeah.
That we can't really comprehend as animals. I love hearing that stuff.
I love the questions where your brain just goes, It just doesn't get it. Like the theory of relativity and what's beyond the edge of space and things like that, where you can't comprehend it. You can't. It's impossible.
No.
But yeah, it just sort of makes your brain go, "Fuck if I know." Like,
I weirdly sort of have got my head around like the distances. Like that doesn't weird me out at all.
really?
Well, yeah, because it's just acknowledging how insignificant I am. I already know that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
So it's not like I don't look at it and go, oh my God, that can't be real. I go, that's real, because the reality is that I'm fucking irrelevant. If you can accept that bit, then all the rest of the numbers and the craziness, it can be much more palatable. I like it for that reason, because I'm humbled. I'm not an overly humble person, but in terms of my own value, in terms of life.
Keeps you grounded.
Yeah, I just like it. I think it's cool. There's a planet that's made out of pure diamond. That's mental. Which means there's going to be a planet made out of pure gold. Mental. I just think it's all absolutely incredible. And the fact that there will be forms of life that even the likes of Star Trek and Star Wars is just nowhere near. Like way more weird than that. I think it's absolutely incredible. I love it. And I like stories like that. And hopefully James Webb can start finding out even more and more and more really cool information for us.
It's one of the coolest pieces of technology we've ever invented, I think, those planetary telescopes and stuff like that. Like that old picture that was every science teacher's screensaver. You know which one I'm on about?
Yeah, Nebula. Yeah.
Where it was just, you look at and there's like galaxies on galaxies on galaxies, and you're thinking, what the fuck? Like that, it just, it makes you just, It's one of those things again, isn't it? Like how do you even comprehend that? Like, it doesn't make sense, does it? Like,
see, that's the bit that I'm all right with.
Yeah.
The bit that I can't comprehend is if if space or the universe is expanding, what is it expanding into? That one is where my brain draws a line, because I don't think anybody's ever given an answer, because you can't. You can hypothesize and say, well, potentially it's a multiverse system and just the bubbles of each universe are stretching or shrinking at different times. Then you could just go for, well, we don't comprehend, but it's pushing out the boundaries of nothingness. But we don't like the idea of nothingness because it's like, well, what is nothing? That.
Yeah.
I understand the confusion. I'm not saying that I know the answer, but I can understand and feel comfortable with that conversation. I don't see that as being a brain fucked moment. It's just like, okay, this is weird and cool.
I just, there's so many cool things about it. Like when last year when they photographed a black hole for the first time, and stuff like that, and it was pretty much what we thought it would look like. And the reason that was because, is it Interstellar? When they put the black hole in it. Have you seen Interstellar?
No, I haven't.
I think it's Interstellar. If it's not, I'm sorry. Basically, what they did is the production team for Interstellar basically got a load of scientists to put into a graphic engine all the sort of calculations of what they thought a black hole, all the sort of measurements and things, and put it in and just see what it comes up with. And it came up with this big ring that had a subsequent ring that jutted out at another angle. And it ends up that's what happened.
It's cool.
It's like that's so cool.
The equation for that, if I'm not mistaken, was Stephen Hawking's original creation about black hole radiation. Because originally his first theory was that basically he absorbed all life and it went nowhere. But then he realised that all the other mathematical equations that we have would mean that's impossible. So then he eventually changed it and he said, actually, no, it does emit the energy out the other end. That actually when it collapses, the energy is then scattered back into the universe.
Yeah, I think it acts as almost like a slingshot, doesn't it? Because all it does is it just bends gravity. Yeah,
and all matter.
Which is where spaghettification comes from. If you don't know what that is,
it's fucking cool.
Have fun sleeping tonight.
I heard that and I went, that is amazing. I want to throw something in. I want to see what happens. But not myself.
It's like what actually would happen if you got like sucked out the airlock.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Because it's not like fucking Star Wars or Doctor Who where they just float around really nicely and they just look dead. No, you would all at the same time freeze, boil, burn, have your lungs sucked flat.
Yeah,
and
you just break into millions of pieces because you'd be so.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't actually break up. But the side of you that's facing the sun would boil,
Right.
and the side that's facing away from the sun would freeze.
Ah, that's interesting.
Because in front, where the sun isn't hitting, because there's no atmosphere, obviously, there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
So you've got 256 degrees positive on your back and 256 degrees below zero
on your front.
On your front.
Bloody hell. Mad,
and obviously the vacuum, it sucks all the air out and just literally sucks your lungs flat.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you'd burn, boil, suffocate, freeze, all at the same time.
What an interesting way to go.
And no one could hear you scream.
No, there we go.
It was like, I didn't realise on Earth they've got within 1 degree of absolute zero. In a lab somewhere. I can't remember where it was.
I've heard of that.
Like, that's mad. So, because obviously absolute zero is dictated by molecules not being able to move. Once they stop moving, that is absolute zero, because you can't make them move less than not moving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because obviously heat is generated by molecules moving.
Yeah.
And how much heat is dictated by how fast they're moving. And yeah, to get within... it's like the fucking hell. Here we go. It's like the Hadron Collider and stuff like that, where they could theoretically recreate a black hole.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, do it.
Don't do that.
Do it. It's only Switzerland. Fuck 'em.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. There was a guy, wasn't there, that put his hand in a particle accelerator.
Right.
And yeah, I can't remember. Oh, I wish I'd looked at the story. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. It was a really early one. And it wasn't like the big tube like it is now. And someone started it up while his hand was in it.
Right.
And I can't remember what happened to him.
What a fucking anecdote.
Yeah, I know. But it just reminded me of that. And I watched a video on it recently. But I don't want to say the wrong thing. So it's,
legend.
Yeah.
Have you said? How many more topics have we got?
Just one.
Okay, I'm going to give one more. So Brian Cox, the guy who's basically headed up the Hadron Collider, they've discovered something in the last 2 years. There's basically a form of matter, a particle, that until the Hadron Collider couldn't be seen. And these particles flow through matter. So they've taken a snapshot of it where they're trying to see what happens when the two atoms collide. And these other molecules or matter, they basically are coming through the camera by I think it's billions a second that hit Earth or something. But basically it travels directly through.
That's pretty mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and they need to now try and study exactly what that particle is or what that molecule is. Fucking love this shit. Yeah. I don't understand. I can comprehend what's being said, but obviously I don't understand it. I'm not a scientist. No. But I just find it fascinating.
The ones I get as well is like Einstein and Hawkins. Einstein especially, when he was coming up with his sort of
E equals MC.
Predictions of things.
Yeah.
But didn't have the technology to test them.
Yeah, they were all.
They were all correct.
Yeah, mental.
Like what happened, I think it was what happens when two...
Black
it was either galaxies or black holes collide.
Black holes collide, yeah.
And he was like, well, I think this is what happens. And they all went, okay.
Fucked if we know, mate.
Yeah. And then it was all true. Cosmic background radiation. I don't know if that was him or whether that was someone else.
I think that
they
was
tested
Hawkins.
it. And it was true. Yeah, just like...
Mathematics.
Fucking mad shit.
Advanced mechanical mathematics, if you can comprehend it, can be incredible.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the squiggles and the A's and the letters that I'm looking at when I see them on the blackboards. I'm like,
I kind of wish I did know what it all meant, but...
I'm not going to put the effort in.
No,
I'm not going to do that.
No. But it was mad to me that Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't rate Albert Einstein as the greatest thinking mind ever.
Who does he put up there?
Isaac Newton.
I can understand why. Time and technology, lack of...
Theory of movement, gravity. I get it.
Yeah.
But the mad thing about Newton is he came up with, I think it was basically he came up with a theory, and the way Neil deGrasse Tyson sort of describes it is someone asks him a question, he goes, I'll get back to you, goes away, invents a new type of calculus,
yes. Yeah.
And then comes back and proves it true.
Yeah. And
then invents the theory of gravity and all this shit before he's 26.
Yeah, it's just fucking insane, lad. That fella had the tism. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he was riddled with a tism, but thank God for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love this
I do
stuff.
love space, man. It's cool. It's cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
My mum hates it. I've tried describing things to her before. She's like, please don't talk to me about this. Please don't talk to me about this. Like, I can't understand what you're saying, and it makes my head hurt. Okay, sorry, Mum. You're right. Carry on.
Yeah.
Keep making lovely sun catchers. Be nice if you understood the fucking science as to why it creates prisms. I'm trying to tell you. And she's like, I don't know, but it's just pretty.
Oh, that's an intro. What's your thought on flat earthers?
Fuck off. do you want a more comprehensive answer?
I would like to know the...
Yeah. Fuck them. That's the other more comprehensive version.
Yeah?
Yeah, they can fuck off, and quite frankly, fuck them. It's so irrational. Like, curvature of Earth is so clear. Just, I'm born and raised in Bournemouth. I almost, like, if you stand on a cliff top and you look over, say, from Bournemouth to Swanage versus being at sea level, you can see the fucking difference of curvature. I've also been on a lot of planes, and I can see the curvature because I can't see China from where I stand.
Well, according to them, that's because of the window.
Yeah, that's because of shut up. That's why that is. Stop it. You're annoying me. David Mitchell, thank you very much for explaining it so beautifully. Like, literally, someone has been out of our atmosphere, taken a picture of Earth. It is round.
That's fake.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Because we can just go and create those images back in 1978 like it's nothing. What? I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's a guy, there's a really good entrepreneur in Bournemouth that's got his own podcast. His name's Tay. Really nice guy. I rate him. Does loads of work for charity. He had this flat earther on his podcast. Mate, the guy is covered head to toe in tattoos. He speaks very eloquently, and he speaks like he's not a fool. And I'm not saying that he is one, because I do think that some of his points have got logic, but other points, he's just so obsessed with energy, and how energy describes the answers to all of these mythical problems or mythical situations. And it's like, but you're not actually educating us on this. You're just regurgitating the term energy and saying, well, that's the answer.
Yeah.
What do you mean, though? Give me something to break down, like in anything else in science. Give me the equation of how I can then prove it to be true again. If you can do that, then I'm on board. But if you're just going to give me words without any visible proof or calculations that I can go and then check out, I don't know what you're talking to me about, mate. I just drives me nuts. Because, again, look, I'm coming from no vantage point here. I've not been out of space.
Have you not?
But funnily enough, no,
Oh.
I haven't. But yet,
Let down.
okay, trusting the images, I could understand why that could be considered to be ignorant. Fair enough. I lack the knowledge, and I'm just being trustworthy or trusting. Okay, fine. Relatively good argument. But the fact that I've actually seen it in a plane, not even going out of the atmosphere. The fact I can see it when I stand up on tall things. I was up in the mountains in China near Guangzhou. You can see curvature. My mate's in the Navy. Do you know the maximum distance that you can see from sea level outwards? The maximum distance.
5 miles?
I think he told me 21 nautical miles.
Right.
But I'm going back to a conversation when I was 21, by the way, so apologies. I'm a bit ropey on the old memory front. But the point being, how would all of their technology function if they hadn't based all of the maths and the science on their technology around the theory that the Earth is round? None of it would work. Not one piece of human technology based on sea, distance, travel, time, force. None of it would. You couldn't recalculate it again if it was a flat Earth. So what do you mean, mate? All the evidence.
The easiest way I've found to disprove it, beyond the fucking shit that they won't listen to, is stand at the southernmost tip of South America and stand at the southernmost tip of Africa, which are about 3,000-4,000 miles apart, and look south. Do you see the same thing? Yes, you do.
Oh, you do.
If you look, if you're looking at constellations, sorry,
Oh,
I should have
right.
interjected that. Apologies.
Yeah.
Look up at the sky. Look at what star you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on a ball, you look south and you look at the same point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on a disc, one's here, you look south,
Done well, yeah.
You're looking at different things.
Right, so I thought you meant south on Earth, but you meant south out into space. I'm with you. Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say.
I'm with you.
No, and because there's a good podcast I watched where it was a physicist and a flat earther. One of the most prominent flat earthers, actually. It's so funny. He just rips him to shit. It's so funny. He just goes, "You're a fucking idiot." he's just ripping into him. It's fucking brilliant. I think is it Professor Dave? I think is the physicist, and then some other fucking. I think he's also called Dave. Weirdly,
there you go, Davey Dave.
Funnily enough, he's not a professor though.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I love the fact that they challenge things. That much I will give flat earthers credit for. I don't think you should ever just listen to something and go, "That's definitely true," because you have your own mind.
100%.
You're able to think, okay, do I believe that? Can I try and get an understanding of it where that is plausible and realistic? I'm glad at least they're questioning stuff. But there comes a point.
Yeah.
You're just wasting your own time. Let's just say, for hypothetical sake, fuck it, it's flat. What difference has that now made to your life, the fact that you stood on one side of a fence and went, it's flat? Everyone else stood on the other side of the fence and went, it's round. What's made a difference to your existence? There is zero difference to your existence other than, I told you so.
I'm right, yeah.
Well done. Congratulations. You've literally not impacted my life in any way, shape or form, or 99.9% of the world's population. So stop fucking wasting your time. Do something more practical.
There's a level of evidence, isn't it, when it comes to conspiracy?
Oh, fucking loads of them.
Which is why I can't say it, but the thing that happened in September of 2001 in America, I do believe was not what the official. I've got to be really careful because we got taken. We got taken down the last time I spoke about this. So
we did.
The official story is not. There's enough evidence to the contrary. But flat Earth is the most ludicrous and delusional thing to believe because it relies on the cooperation of so many countries and so many people to all preach one lie. Fucking hell, we can't even get them to fucking sell shit to one another at the minute.
No, you got to get them selling lies at the same time at the same place. Fuck me.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh God, the joys.
Space.
Story numero dos. What we got for the third and final piece this week, Mr.
This one
Tay?
is a bit more business based because I know we've gone off topic a little.
We have. We've gone into interests, and I love a little bit of science.
I've looked at this, and it doesn't contain the T word.
Okay.
So, could Meta be forced to sell Instagram and WhatsApp?
Well, now I'm intrigued. That's a headline, isn't it?
The US Federal Trade Commission is accusing Meta of buying Instagram and WhatsApp over a decade ago to neutralise its competition, in line with Mark Zuckerberg's alleged 2008 directive that it's better to buy than compete.
Interesting. I mean, he's right commercially, but carry on.
Yeah, but there's also laws against a monopoly.
There are, which get ignored every day.
So what is the social media giant accused of? And what could the court case mean for all of us? The US Federal Trade Commission is accusing Meta of buying Instagram. Yeah, that was the headline. Why have you written it again? When Facebook bought Instagram in 2012, emails read out in court show that Zuckerberg was worried about Facebook's performance and that he thought Instagram was growing rapidly. Instagram was the first company Facebook bought that was allowed to carry on running as a separate app. Before then, it simply bought startups for their talented workers and shut them down. 2 years later, it bought WhatsApp and ran that as a separate app too. Both sales were approved by the FTC at the time. Meta denies the FTC's claims and called the case a weak lawsuit that ignores reality. It says it faces plenty of competition from other social media companies. The evidence at trial will show that every 17-year-old, this is in quotes, that every 17-year-old in the world knows Instagram competes with TikTok and YouTube and X and many other apps, said a statement from the company at the beginning of the trial. So, yeah, I can't remember the last time a monopoly lawsuit was brought up against someone this big.
No, nor can I.
You know what I mean? It's very rare nowadays, isn't it? Because there's always the competition, no matter how big the main one is. It's very rare that someone gets accused of a monopoly, because normally people are too stubborn to sell, aren't they?
Yeah, this is okay. I've got a linked story to this. I can't name names other than my dad. Right, my dad has a friend. Is how we're going to start this story. He has it, and it is one. It's only one. Bless him. But no, he's got this friend who is very good pals with the people who produce and manufacture temporary traffic lights. Right?
Okay.
Do you know there's only one supplier of them in the UK? Do you know that one supplier dictates exactly what the fuck they charge for temporary lights? Do you want to know how much it costs every council for 1 week for one set of lights? So that's 2 lights for 1 week to rent them. Have a guess, Tay.
1,000 quid.
Keep going.
2.
Keep going.
10.
Bit less than that, I'm afraid.
8.
£5,000 per week
Per set.
per set of 2. Do you understand how much we are getting ripped the fuck off as taxpayers? That comes out of our pockets, and that is a monopoly because nobody else wants to jump through the hoops to get the regulations or the certificates, basically, to say that my traffic lights are compliant, they function well, and that, you know, no one's going to get hurt. And that is it. It's a fucking joke. So monopolies already exist. Yeah. If anybody says, oh, but it breaks the law, of course it fucking does. But rich people don't give a shit. And I'm talking about the ultra-rich. They're going to keep accruing wealth in any way, shape or form they can. Mr. Zuckerberg, whether we like it or not, is a fucking genius, right? Not saying what he's created has been like one of the really positive movements for the advancements of technology within humanity. But the fact that he's got 3 billion people using his ideas makes him a genius. It just does, whether you like it or not. What he's trying to do here is basically prevent anybody else from stepping on his patch. Whether you call it talent farming or whether you call it crushing the competition, they're one and the fucking same. Like, does it matter really to us as consumers whether Zuckerberg owns Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube and all of them? Do we really care? Or have we now hit the point where we're so second nature using mobile devices, tablets, laptops, that as long as we can access this dopamine pushing machine, we don't care who the fuck owns it. I would say the general consensus for society, the average user couldn't give a monkey's as to who owns the platform.
It's funny,
they just want to use the tools.
It goes on to say something like that.
Of course
in
it
this
does.
article. So, because there's been word that if Meta split up, so if he had to sell Facebook or Instagram, Elon Musk might buy it.
Of course he would.
So, what they're saying is that if they split it and, you know, elected some random no-name CEO, that there wouldn't be much of an exodus because, like you say, people wouldn't care.
They wouldn't even know.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. But if Musk bought it, they could see basically what happened to Twitter and the emergence of Blue Sky, which is effectively Twitter made by a different person. And that there could be a massive exodus away from whichever one ends up being sold. Now, I think if it was either of them, he would sell Instagram because obviously Facebook was his invention, Instagram wasn't. So, but yeah, I thought that was kind of mad, especially as they approved them first time round.
Yeah.
And now they're sort of going back on it.
That's the bit I don't like. Even if there was somebody else within, was it FTC, you say?
The Federal Trade Commission, yeah.
FTC. If there was somebody in the FTC that basically pushed and they were high up bods and they had all the power and they said, look, I'm actually fine with what Zuckerberg's doing here. I think that Meta should be allowed to buy whatever company they want. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they're not buying every company in the world, let them crack on. The fact that that person was either there and now isn't, or maybe they're still there, you can't put something like that through without speaking to a board of individuals to then pass a vote. So you can't hold one individual responsible. And if you can, and now they're no longer in the organisation, it should have been reviewed immediately when that person left the FTC. And if you're not going to review it, then all of a sudden some knight in white shining armour comes along and goes, actually, I don't think this was right. We shouldn't have done this. Unfortunately for that person that may well be legally correct, too late. You've set a precedent. You've said that we, as the governing body, will allow this kind of thing to happen. If you then change your mind and try and reverse it, then how can we ever trust any of these bodies? You can't.
Yeah,
So-
it's a bit double jeopardy, isn't it?
Hugely. I think that he's not going to have to relieve his ownership of multiple platforms. I'm pretty sure, because you have the likes of, say, TikTok and other social media platforms that are doing incredibly well, dating apps are pretty much social media platforms now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. He's not going to go and buy all of them. He doesn't want all of them. He wants the top 5%, because that dominates 95% of the market.
Top 5%. I think of the social media market, he's probably got
All of it.
60, 70%.
Yeah.
I think Twitter and
Oh, yeah.
then a smattering of smaller ones, Pinterest and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's when you look at it, it's not a full monopoly, but I can sort of see what they mean. But yeah, it is a bit, because he'll have invested insane amounts of money on the back of it being fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then he's got to go, well, got to sell it.
Yeah.
Did you know though? A
Huh.
little bit of a side note that the guy who gave Zuckerberg his initial investment, called, I think his name's Eduardo Saverin,
Mm-hmm.
I think, he was played by Andrew Garfield in the Social
yeah.
Network.
Yeah. They both came up with the idea
Do you
together.
know that he
didn't they?
has a law named after him now?
Oh, because he got basically his own. His shares were squashed out of.
No.
Facebook.
So he sold his shares in Facebook,
Mm.
an insane amount of money, and then moved it all offshore and fucked off to Argentina and revoked his US citizenship. So he never paid US tax on it.
Wow.
So now there's the sovereign law that capital gains earned in one country, the taxes have to be paid there.
Wow. That's good. I think that's a fair law.
Yeah. But like, the fact that he's fucked off to Argentina with all his money and said, bollocks to you, I'm not American anymore.
Mm.
I thought that was class.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Although it annoys me that, I'm a hypocrite there again.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. I literally would say that's a fucking harsh thing for a billionaire to do. But on the same hand, you're thinking he took advantage of a loophole. Whether I like it or not, it's not really relevant. The rules of the game.
Yeah, well,
He's
exactly.
played
It's
it.
don't hate the player, hate the game, isn't it? It's you can't really have an issue with anything these billionaires do, because realistically, if it's that bad of a loophole, they should shut the loophole.
But as Trump said when he was it his first time?
Said the
in
T
power?
word.
Sorry. Have you seen that really famous clip though, where he's talking to Hillary Clinton? She's saying, "Oh, like all these billionaires." He's like, "Well, yeah, of
All
course,
your donors, yeah.
yeah. Like those donors are my friends, and I also was donating to political parties because the loopholes allowed me to.
Mm.
You don't like it? Change the fucking loopholes.
Yeah, all your donors take advantage of the same things I do.
Yeah.
Is
So there
right,
you
yeah.
go. It was-
My favourite Trump and Hillary one was when Hillary said, "Thank God a man like him isn't in charge of the courts."
Oh, 'cause
And
you'd
he
be in
went, "Because
prison."
you'd be in jail." It's like Shane Gillis said, man, they should just, from now on, even when he's not in office, they should just bring him out to debate.
Yeah.
Just let him debate.
Yeah.
Wheel him out, like you said, like Hannibal Lecter.
90% of what he says is just pure comical nonsense, and then some of
Yeah.
it's actually quite logical.
Most of it's not even true, what he says. But
Fake news.
yeah,
Fucking fake news.
yeah, the fucking irony of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't write this down, but did you see the mad thing? So
Did I?
I know I said I wouldn't talk about him, but
Too late.
Indirect.
Yeah.
I
opened that door.
So he's tried to implement a list of demands to Harvard University, among other universities, but Harvard was the one in the news. And Harvard basically turned around and went, "Fuck off!" Like he was, one of them was giving preferential treatment to conservative voters for admissions.
What one of the universities were?
No, one of his demands to Harvard.
Yeah.
He said, in order to keep your federal funding, this is the list of things I need you to do.
Yeah.
And one of them was give preferential admission to conservative voters.
The fuck? Is he off his head?
Yeah.
Well,
he didn't word it like that, but what it meant is that you can, if you read between the lines, that's what he's saying.
He's trying to control too much, while technically what it looks like from our perspectives is relieve control. In terms of like, I don't want there to be these rules and stipulations of, oh, you've got to use these pronouns, these languages. I don't like that. And then he's stipulating basically the same fucking thing, but not to do with gender, colour, creed.
From the other
And it's just, what are you doing, bro?
Did you see he went against the DOJ the
what?
other day?
What's
Department
the
of Justice.
Oh, sorry.
He went against the Supreme Court,
Can
which
you
has never happened.
Is he allowed to? Yeah, okay, but if he's done it, he's done it. So yes, I guess he is. What did he do?
So there was a guy, I don't know the ins and outs, so if I get any of this wrong, I'm sorry. There was a guy who was living in America completely legally, and he got deported to El Salvador, even though he's Venezuelan.
What?
And there was a big push, and the Department of Justice and the Supreme Court basically said, no, you've got to bring him back.
Yeah.
And this was while the plane was in the air. They said, no, you turn the plane around, because he's not supposed to be there.
Right.
And they ignored him.
Just sent the cunt to El Salvador?
Yeah, into that big prison. Did you hear about El Salvador, where they've
created a mega jail?
They've gone from the highest crime rate country to the lowest. Because they've basically, anyone who's ever done anything is now in prison. It's pretty mad, man. If you get a chance, look into it, because what else? It's mad. Like they are just putting fucking everyone in jail.
It is insane.
Yeah, and now Trump's fucking best mates with this Donny, and like there's a lot of people online who are saying he's moving towards dictator status, going against the courts, and apparently Trump put out a press statement saying that he may invoke martial law.
This sounds so bad. My brain has got too many. What's martial law? Why has my brain forgotten that?
Taking the power away from the government and giving it to the military.
Right. Sorry. He's thinking about doing that, is he?
Yeah. Because of all these, because of all the protests, whether it be Palestinian or anti-Trump or all this stuff, he's talking about. And this is like, if you look back at when dictators take over, they ignore
Martial
the
law.
courts, they take over the courts, they then invoke martial law,
It's not looking great.
It's not looking good, Brev.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
And then Putin the other day said that he was going to kill all British people, so that was fun.
Oh, great. Lovely.
So we might see you next week.
With any luck, you won't. There you go.
If not, the stupid Russian man baby's got his way.
Yeah.
Right, bye.
Bye-bye.